Candidates are not the only ones making decisions about their campaign finances. Most of them ask their advisors, and for some, politics is a family affair.
It certainly is, actually, for almost all the candidates. Tonight, we'll get to know a key figure in the Aquino campaign, Ballsy Aquino Cruz.
People say looking at Ballsy Aquino Cruz is like looking at a mirror image of her mother, former President Cory Aquino. Of course, there's the physical resemblance, but Ballsy is also the same simple, unassuming person that her mother was. More comfortable at a Sunday lunch at home than at a state dinner in Malacanang. But she is no stranger to politics. She was her mother's personal secretary during her days as president and was witness to the triumphs and failures of that administration. It was a role she played reluctantly, but as fate would have it, Ballsy, along with her sisters Cruz, Pinky, and Biel, are once again thrust in the realm of politics after her brother, Senator Noynoy Aquino, decided to run for president. Today, just as before, the demands of the campaign require her to step into the spotlight. She appears at rallies and functions when her brother and sisters can't. For example, it was Ballsy and her sisters who asked Senator Sergio Menia to take a more active role in Noynoy's campaign after surveys showed that his main challenger, Manny Villar, was catching up. Surprisingly, for all her influence, Ballsy has very little detractors, perhaps because, like her mother, she prefers to wield her power with quiet grace instead of an iron hand. And to tell us more about her role in her brother's campaign, we're joined in the studio by the eldest sister of Liberal Party presidential candidate Noynoy Aquino, Ballsy Aquino Cruz. Good evening to you, Ballsy.
Good evening, sis. Good evening.
Well, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to have you. We were saying that we were watching how it all, the run-up to the campaign, and how you didn't seem to really want to do this again, but now here you are. How much of a role do you play in the campaign today?
Well, just like my other siblings, we just want to help him as much as we can. We don't really call the shots. He decides for himself after listening to all his advisors and after really praying hard about those issues. But we promised him, even if we didn't want him to run, that in case he decided to, we would help him and we would be there. So we do all sorts of things for him.
So you're stuck.
Yes.
What exactly is it that you do to help?
Well, as you said earlier, sis, I was given the title Dakilang Substitute because Viel takes care of disbursing the funds. She's very strict. Of all of us, she's the most organized, and she really asks a lot of questions. And then Pinky does well speaking to groups, to crowds. And then Chris, of course, has her friends in the media and in showbiz. And then many times, well, I do a lot of many things. But when there's no one who can go, like tonight, to the studio, then it's me.
Or we only asked you.
Oh, I didn't know it was just me. I thought it was any of the sisters.
Yes.
Yeah, I was with Pinky yesterday in Lawag. I left her. She's in Viga now. I attended to some meetings today, and I said I had promised Sis I'd be here tonight.
Oh, that's why he had to come earlier.
Yes.
But a newspaper had said, and I don't know if you can correct it, that you are part of the finance committee of sorts. Is that?
I guess you can say that because many times Noy can't go to meet his supporters or those who'd like to contribute to the campaign. And many of them signified that if Noy couldn't make it, he wanted one of the sisters to come. They didn't want to send it through other emissaries. They wanted to make sure that it went to the right place. So initially I was told I would be in the finance committee.
Do you find it hard to do all these things? I mean, I know you probably don't want to do any of this anymore, but here you are doing it again. How difficult is it? I mean, there's so many personalities involved in everything.
Yes, we're not thinking anymore of the difficult things. I guess I really can't complain because so far everything's been going well. Of course, it's not perfect, but everywhere I've been, everyone's just been so warm. And then when I hear stories and when I meet people who want to help, giving their allowance from religious, they give their month's allowance, and then I meet people
Or
who
even children, no?
Yes. I haven't met any child myself, but Noy has. And then I've been meeting with some people who just started with their job, they're new graduates, and still they were willing to give us their bonuses during Christmas. And then when I see people saying that, you know, we really love your mom and this and that, I feel that if this is the only thing I have to do, then why not?
Do you feel that the campaign is on a good track now? I mean, as you said, no campaign is perfect. You've had your little hiccups here and there, but do you feel like right now it's on the right track?
I think so.
So a lot of the little problems have been ironed out.
So far.
Were you jolted when in January there was that statistical tie?
I must say, although people who know about media and all this media war have been actually nagging me to say, you know, to tell us that we should have more of Noy's ads on TV.
Matipid ka daw. Ikaw ba yun? O si Biel?
Si Biel. Well, we were told initially that we had to save a certain percentage of what we got for E-Day, for Election Day.
Yeah.
But those who are in who know more about these things, have so many ads on TV, say that, look, the battle is today. You may not even reach E-Day if you don't make it up there. So that's what I've been telling some people who are more into the political side. And still, there were a lot of arguments. But then after that, then we knew who to believe. And so I tried to tell them that, you know, they were right after all, we should have more.
Speaking of E-Day, I know that you played a very big role behind the scenes in your mother's presidency, and I know that you probably don't want to do that again. But if Noy were to ask you, you know, I need you even after I get elected, what would be your answer to that?
I haven't thought about that. People have asked who would take the place of First Lady in case he won. And I explained that during Mom's time, since she was a widow and she had no more spouse, she didn't have anyone taking the place of a First Gentleman, or there was no First Lady. She had the Bigay Puso ladies, wives of her cabinet, and also wives of the military, the top brass in the military, who did those things that a First Lady would have to do, like go to calamity-stricken areas, and they did so well. And my mom really wanted the civilians and the military to become closer, and that was a good way of getting the military and the civilians close.
So are the four of you going to share that job of having to do that? Or do you, as I heard you say, Noy, pag nanalo ka, tapos na kami, we're going back to our lives.
Yes, you said that.
I don't remember saying that. I must have, or maybe Pinky said that. It's more like, I guess when the time comes, but definitely I'm not volunteering to be there with him. I even doubt if Noy would want any of us to be with him like 24/7. My dad had always referred to us sisters as Noy's witches. So I think she'll be happier without us there.
Shall we give way to, there are a lot of questions posted for you on Facebook and Twitter. So
Yeah, when you confirmed, we sent it out that you'd be here. So we've got a lot of questions from our viewers. And let's
this
begin,
is
Seth.
from Rain. If your mom were still alive, would she support Noy's candidacy?
Of course. When she was in the hospital and people had been pushing Noy to run as Mars running mate, she wasn't for it. And in fact, she said, Noy, maawa ka na sa mga kapatid mo. Pinangako, alam mo, after the last elections and you won and you had 6 years, they were looking forward to just helping those they would want to help for the 2010 elections. But then again, nobody knew that Mom would pass on August 1st. And just like my dad never thought my mom would be president, I guess Mom also didn't think that Noy would even want to be president, and for that matter, this soon. But being a mother and believing that, you know, her son can do things, I'm sure she would support Noy's candidacy.
From